Hi, my name is Mary Claire Coleman, and I am a master's student here at the University of West Alabama. I am pursuing a master's degree in early childhood and elementary special education. This is my Signature Project Stage 2 research proposal presentation. For my research proposal, I researched the effects of explicit instruction in social-emotional learning and access to multisensory rooms on academic and behavioral performance. In this action plan and research proposal, I really focused on those students with emotional behavioral disturbances. I teach in a self-contained classroom, so I've taught many students with those. And so I'm going to be really looking at their academic and behavioral performance when they are receiving explicit instruction on social skills and they have access to a multisensory room that may serve as an outlet for them. So first we will look at the data that I used for my research. Here it is. So figure 1 is a STAR math report of a 4th grade student at Ogletree Elementary School. This student's data that I'm about to show you is from last school year, 2022-2023. STAR assessments are taken monthly at Ogletree to monitor progress. And so the scores shown here are listed in the first percentile with a grade equivalent to pre-kindergarten or pre-kindergarten or kindergarten range. So the student here is in 4th grade, and this is their achievement on STAR Math. So you kind of see that the scores are all over the place. Some days the student may score higher, and then some they dip down lower. That is normal for all students on STAR, but typically you see just a closer range of the ups and downs. So these are really big drops and then really significant increases. And then I also have another figure to show you that is the behavior data of the same student from last year. So the behaviors tracked include disruptive vocalizations, elopement, noncompliance, tantrums, and aggression. Behavior data is tracked daily in 15-minute intervals, and so this shows the average of each behavior, the average percentage of intervals per day of this student's behavior. So here's disruptive vocalizations, elopement, noncompliance, tantrum, and then aggression. So you can see from this data, the identified problem in this research proposal is that students with emotional and behavioral disturbances really struggle academically, behaviorally, and socially. So really across all school settings, it just makes it really tough for these students to succeed and reach their full potential. So for a little bit of background, I'm going to scroll up to the abstract section. So in recent years, there has been an increase in students with emotional and behavioral disturbances. Students with these disturbances struggle significantly more academically, behaviorally than typical students do. These students typically require that specially designed instruction and an accommodated school environment in order to reach their full potential. This study aims to evaluate the impact of a sensory and reset room and instruction of social and emotional skills on student performance. And it is really important to note that this means like explicit instruction on those social skills, just like a teacher may teach math and reading explicitly. This involves them teaching these social and emotional learning skills explicitly as well. It is predicted that the use of a multisensory room and explicit instruction on social emotional skills will provide these students with a comfortable outlet at school and social confidence that will affect their performance. Across all school settings is what we are looking at, but particularly in this study, academically and behaviorally. STAR assessments and IEP data will be collected at the beginning of the study and then again after 3 consecutive months. That portion highlighted a little bit about what the action plan may be, but I am going to scroll down and really dive into the action plan of this research proposal. So here it is, the plan of this study. This plan of study will use students in a self-contained special education class at Ogletree Elementary School. These students will then be divided into two groups using purposive sampling. So I wanted to pick these students on purpose. So students with emotional and behavioral disturbances, and then students with other disabilities, like specific learning disabilities, OHI, things like that. The study will be conducted through quantitative research using scores from STAR academic assessments, behavior data, and then IEP goal data collection results as well. The two groups will each have 4 students, so in both groups, at least one student will have a severe or significant emotional and behavioral disturbance. Students in Group 1 will be granted access to a multisensory space and receive that explicit, intense, direct instruction in social emotional learning, led by a certified special education teacher. Students in Group 2 will not have access to that sensory space, nor will they receive that explicit instruction in social emotional learning. This will remain constant for 3 months, and then after 3 months, students will be administered STAR math and reading assessments, and IEP data will be collected to determine the effects of these two things on their academic performance. Behavior data will then be pulled and graphed to analyze that correlation between social emotional learning instruction and access to a sensory room on their behavioral performance. Students will be given a number to protect their identity, and then, of course, informed consent will be retrieved from parents before student participation. This does involve students in special education, so the legality and confidentiality is super important here. The instruments that will be used in this study are super important, and they play a key role, so it's important to assess the validity, that's a hard word, and the validity and reliability of the instruments that will be used. So here it is. So STAR assessments will be used, behavior data, and then IEP data collection as well. So the STAR assessments are universal screeners that monitor student progress in math and reading. It is administered in a quiet, individual setting for the teacher to assure that the student remains focused and on task. STAR assessments do require those self-monitoring skills, so to sit still, pay attention, those sort of things, because the teacher cannot assist in any way on the test. IEP data collection is administered in a one-on-one setting, and it also assesses their individual IEP goals. So it's really individualized and valid for what those students are learning and are expected to learn during a certain school year. So all 3 of these things are valid. The STAR assessments being that universal screener, the STAR assessments, again, requiring those self-monitoring skills, IEP data collection being very individualized to the student, and then behavior data that is also individualized to the student and graphed daily to assure that every day is accounted for, every mood, every sort of day that that student may have. So, with this being a study done in special education, there are some limitations and ethical things that may come up. So obviously, if students are absent, it will affect the progress. And then if they are not participating in the study, so if a parent does not grant permission. But the main things to think about with this study as far as ethics go are the confidentiality with special education, which is why the students will be given a number and their name or information will not be shown or given out. And then even with that number being given, it is super important to have the parents' signed consent for their students' participation. That is it as far as the study goes. Looking back, I would change a few things. I would change the STAR data to show a full overview of since they started taking STAR assessments, because I just put it up recently and there is little to no progress. So it would have been neat to really see that from a broader perspective than there was given in this research proposal. That would just help see more of a big picture of this student. And then I would also add work samples to the data collection, because work samples show a daily report of how that student is performing on their given academic and behavior skills. That is it for my research proposal outline. presentation. I hope you enjoyed it.